So the third category, which is the quickest way to select something, and is the most convenient, is the quick selection category. There are three tools under this category. The first one, object selection tool, recently added to Photoshop 2020. That's a new tool, and it is pretty quick, convenient tool for the selection. So let's start with that one. For the object selection tool, basically in the area that you work, you can roughly draw a selection around the area that you want to select, and it select it calculate and analyze the area that you need it, and like it basically select the subject for you. You have the option from the option bar to create a rectangle or lasso for the selection area that you define. So if you have a more complex area that you want to choose and you need more way of like a more free way of selection, you can choose lasso. Otherwise, you can go to rectangle, which is default. So I will go and choose the lasso, and I'm gonna like create a rough selection around this body. So what I do with just like one click, make a selection and define the area, give time, then it loads the area for you and makes a selection. Okay, now right now you can see it did like a pretty good job. And so I wanted to select a figure, but also there are some areas that I need to refine or clean up because it created like selection around the areas that I don't want. So you have the options to just like with Alt, remove this area, as you can see, or you can go and like select another tool, which I'm gonna explain other additional tools, and you can see how they work. So definitely you can clean up with adding to your selection or removing part of your selection, but also let's talk about other tools in that category. So there are two other tools, quick selection and magic wand. Quick selection, it works like a brush. Basically, you have a brush and you select the area that you want. If I go back and try to do the same thing with this figure, so I can just like move my mouse around, just like add to the selection. You can do it like a step by step. You don't need to just like make a bigger brush. And also with the right and left bracket, you can change the size of your brush, which is your selection at this point. And definitely for smaller areas, you need to have a smaller size. As you can see, I can just like create the selection. It did a pretty good job. And at this area, I don't want it. What I do, I hold Alt, and you can see it removed from the area that I want. This is another way of selecting something. And the last one is Magic Wand tool. So Magic Wand tool is unlike other way of like selecting selection tools. Basically, it counts the tone and color, and the area that it is similar, it starts to select it. It does it based on the color and tone. So it is important that, for example, if something is really low contrast, or it is just like more monochrome image, then Magic Wand is not the best way for the selection. So for example, I go and like select this blue color area, then it's like it has a high contrast and it is visible, and I can definitely easily select this area. I select the tool, click, and you can see it gives me the option like easily to select that blue area. In the option panel, you can work with the tolerance. So the tolerance is the amount of like the accuracy that you want to do. For example, if you do it like bigger numbers, it's gonna be less accurate. So if you have a smaller areas, you can just like make it, for example, 10, and it makes like smaller selection for you, and you need to like click every time more. But if I go and like make it 40 right now, it makes a bigger selection for me. And as you can see here, it just like the toggle for add to the selection is activated. It means like every time that I click, I add to my selection. I don't remove, or I'm not like losing other selections.